Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Taekook Cherry, a love that doesn't burn but slowly burns. In an era when love has to go viral to be considered real, the story of Taehyung and Jungkook was born like an old song that can only be played in the hearts of those who secretly hope. Their love is not New Year's fireworks that tear the sky apart, but fireflies in a quiet forest, dim, silent, but unignorable. They never said, "Look at us." But the universe whispered, "Feel them." Jungkook loves Taehyung like the sky loves the stars, never able to truly embrace, but never ceasing to be a home. His love is not a series of sweet captions on Instagram, but a soft prayer when the night is too quiet. "May you sleep well tonight." Sometimes, just one silent sentence, "I am here," and all the storms in his chest calm down. He is not a poet. But every time he mentions Taehyung's name, the world knows, a new verse is created. They live in a rhythm that the world does not understand, with small codes, secret languages, and silence that is never empty. Jungkook doesn't say much, but behind his silence there's a hug that wasn't given, a song that wasn't recorded. The heart emoji that was sent wasn't just an icon, it was a heartbeat in digital form. When the world was looking for evidence, they presented a puzzle. When fans were busy looking for visuals, the universe gave emotional cues. Like when distance separated them, but the shirts they wore were the same. The world called it a coincidence. But love is never that simple. Maybe it wasn't a coincidence, but a Morse code that only the two of them understood. And when Jungkook said he regretted not being able to come to the concert that Taehyung attended, the world read it as an absence. But for Jungkook, it was a presence that couldn't be realized. He wanted to be there, where Taehyung burst out laughing and his eyes lit up like a child who had just discovered the world. They weren't just friends. They were a small universe that grew in silence. And the universe, of course, recorded it all. In whooshing silence that only followed two names, Taehyung and Jungkook. In Peak Boy's decision to become a DJ not because of protocol, but because of a calling from the heart. In a simple repost from Taehyung's childhood friend, which seemed to say, "I see. I know." The red thread between them was not sewn by human hands, but by fate that slowly twisted time. And in the corner of the stage stood a figure named Jimin. He was not a narrator. He was not a commentator. He was a loyal audience who never went home before the curtain closed. He kept everything, their laughter, their silence, their awkwardness, their hidden longing. He didn't ask, he didn't force. He just understood. Jimin was the night sky that embraced two stars searching for each other. He knew that not all love needed to be announced. There was love that was enough to just be given a place to grow. And Jimin, with his calm smile, was the secret garden where that love bloomed. Jungkook knew that loving Taehyung was learning to wait without promises. He never asked for anything in return, because true love never demands. He just wanted to be a place to come home to, when the world was too noisy, when the spotlight started to dazzle. Taehyung understood. He didn't need big words from Jungkook. He just needed an unchanging presence. Like an old wooden chair on the porch of an old house, not fancy, not shiny, but always there, always loyal. There was a time when they sat side by side in silence. No music, no loud laughter. Just existence. And that existence was louder than all the songs they had ever sung. In a world that demands labels for everything, their love chose to be a puzzle. Not because they were ashamed, but because there is a love that can only grow in silence, in a place that is not seen by the eye but recognized by the heart. When Jungkook uploaded a video of flowers dancing in the wind, Taehyung replied with a photo of the sunset sky. No caption, no tags. But for them it was the most honest conversation that could be said. Their love did not ask the world to understand. But it grew anyway, between songs, in the occasional flash of a camera, in a look that was more eloquent than 1,000 words. At a concert, Jungkook ran across the stage and paused for a moment beside Taehyung. His smile was wide, his eyes sparkling. The world considered it fan service. But for them, it was a small celebration of the love that still burned in the crowd. They hid their love not because they were afraid, but because they knew that something seen too often can lose its magic. And their love, oh their love, was too sacred to be made a spectacle. When Taehyung talked about the song he wrote, he said it was inspired by someone who makes him feel at peace. Jungkook looked down, but his smile couldn't be hidden. He knew the song was him. And when the night got too late, sometimes they just listened to each other's breathing over the phone. No long conversations. Just silence that soothed each other. Sometimes that 1 second was enough to fill 1,000 emptiness. Taehyung kept all of Jungkook's photos in a hidden album. Not because he wanted to hide them, but because he wanted to keep them for himself. True love isn't always for show. Sometimes it just needs to be guarded, cared for, and protected. Jungkook kept a voice message from Taehyung that said, "Take good care of yourself." He played it when his heart was fragile. And every time he heard it, he felt whole again. They were two different seasons. Taehyung was like autumn, full of color, sometimes sad. Jungkook was like spring, calm but full of life. But when they were together, those seasons no longer had boundaries. In the midst of their busy schedules, they stole time. Not for a fancy vacation, but for a cup of coffee, a laugh, or just watching the sunset from the studio window. Their love doesn't come with background music. But if it had to be given a song, it would be a slow melody that only two hearts that know each other can hear. They're not a couple in a Korean drama. They're an unfinished poem, with each line a day they've spent together. And even though they never openly express their love, the world knows. Because true love always finds a way to shine, even without the spotlight. Sometimes love comes in the simplest forms. Like a quick hug before going on stage, or a light touch on the shoulder when one of you is feeling tired. And that's what they have, simple but irreplaceable. When they're in different countries, time feels slow. But short messages like, "Have you eaten?" or "How's the weather there?" become a bridge between two hearts that always want to be close. They love in silence, but their silence is full of echoes. Not echoes that everyone can hear, only those who really listen. In an interview, Jungkook smiled when asked about his dreams. He answered briefly, "A quiet life with someone who makes me comfortable." No name. But his gaze drifted towards Taehyung's seat. And the world, which is quite sensitive, recorded it. Taehyung once said in a live broadcast, "Sometimes we don't need many people. One is enough as long as they can understand." That night, Jungkook uploaded a story with a photo of a crescent moon. Without words. But Taehyung replied with a heart emoji. In their language, that was more than enough. When rumors began to emerge, they did not deny, nor did they confirm. Because for them, the truth is not something that must be explained to the world. Enough for two hearts that live it. They walk side by side not to be seen, but because that's where they should be. Like two leaves carried by the same current, sometimes separated for a moment, but always meeting again at one point. In Taehyung's dream, there was Jungkook's voice calling his name. In Jungkook's song, there was a melody that could only be captured by a heart that knew Taehyung. They live on a frequency that logic cannot explain. Jungkook is where Taehyung can be himself, no filters, no masks. And Taehyung is the reason Jungkook never gives up on the hard days. They are more than just love. They are reminders of each other. When Taehyung's birthday comes, Jungkook is always the first to say it. Not with a party, not with flowers, but with the most honest words, "I am grateful that you were born." And for Taehyung, that is more than enough. Their relationship is not for everyone to understand, but to be appreciated. Because behind the scenes, behind the stage, they care for each other more than can be seen. And in the end, maybe they will never say, "We are together." But the world doesn't need that confession. The world only needs to see the way Jungkook looks at Taehyung, and know love is standing there. Taekook is not an ordinary love story. Theirs is a story that does not burn but continues to burn. Like cherry blossoms that bloom in the wrong season, rare, fragile, and never fails to make the heart believe that love still exists. Even if it has to grow in silence.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.